The focus, if you're leveraging a managed security service provider for your internal people, is not to run around performing what the managed security service provider is. It's to take this information, it's to manage them, and it's to take this information and change the culture. Two weeks on the road? 2 weeks on the road. I think it's time for us to get back into things. Hey guys, Brian Oakley here. Welcome to CISO Life. All right. Glad everybody made it. Some things we want to go over, I think, today that I've heard quite a bit about. As far as questions go, what is it I need to do around a managed SOC? My advice is going to be one that you don't build, you buy or lease those capabilities. So the thing that we wanted to look at, kind of again, going back to our NIST controls, which of these areas are we looking to address? And it's going to be here, it's going to be detection, and it's going to be response. And these are going to be the controls that we want to be able to address with a SOC, managed services, internal, whoever it is that's going to be performing them. But the question is like, who's doing it? Well, if you've got your organization sitting, wherever it is, they could be remote, they could be, all in one location, you will have some type of concentration, right? And we'll just call that your HQ. You're going to have some type of concentration of people, right, that are going to be working somewhere. Now, you fully outsource your services to a managed security provider, some type of managed service. You have your SOC fully managed. They will effectively be able to handle and see what is going on inside of the organization as far as data goes, right? They'll be able to track, what's going on systems, on databases, DMZs, internal systems, whatever it is. They're going to be able to see and deal with the aspects of the org that don't really need a lot of human interaction. So it's kind of an interesting space, right? When you're starting out, you don't necessarily have the ability to create an internal SOC, right? An internal major security team that's going to be able to perform all the functions that we're going to see and expect out of the NIST framework, right? What we're going to need to do is figure out how do we address that, okay, and then maybe merge in. So I think it's two things, okay? One, as you're starting out, outsource this capability. Concentrate on your business, okay? Allow IT to live internally. Maybe you even outsource IT to a managed service provider, okay? I think, you have some internal security folks, one or two, or maybe some type of dual-hatted, role coming from IT, okay? But either way, you start out, probably going to make the most sense, outsource those capabilities, right? I mean, we're seeing a large trend where people are just outsourcing HR, right? They're outsourcing, they're using outside legal support, okay? Let's look at outsourcing our security capabilities. So, where this doesn't work really well, in my belief, is larger organizations where a culture is already established within here. The question is going to come up if you're a larger organization, right? And you've got a majority of your people sitting within your operations, whether it's HQ, something that's remote, okay? You've got a lot of traveling folks, but you have a culture that's established, okay? And you have people that you need to essentially change behavior on. Jumping to and only having a fully outsourced MSSP, right, for your security operations, okay, is, my belief, is not incredibly effective, because while yes, they can manage all of the systems that are happening within the organization, they can't do anything to address and be able to change any of the people within the organization, right? That's where you're going to need internal folks, okay, to be able to perform security functions, to do some type of training, okay, or awareness, whatever it is. The larger the organization, yes, it might be more cost effective to go ahead and do this, but what you can't discard, what you can't completely outsource is the requirements to be able to change behavior, change culture within an org. You still need internal champions, you still need internal capabilities, and what they need to do is, and this is a major failure, organizations that have adopted this type of an approach, is just viewing as if this group is going to handle everything. If you saw my talk when I was at Morrisville State College 2 weeks ago, I hit on a concept that is very similar to this, in that people who believe that they are hosting, that because they're hosting their applications and their systems in Amazon, Amazon is taking care of their security. Same thing here. Just because you outsource a capability does not mean all of the responsibility goes along with it. Some of it does, some of the services do, but not all of it. So I think to effectively leverage a managed security provider, you need to be able to effectively manage them and know where your responsibilities are to be able to change an organization. I would go into an organization looking at this as an opportunity. If I had an external MSSP, I had a couple folks who were internal to my organization performing security functions. Maybe they are sitting underneath a CISO or a vCISO. Maybe they do sit underneath IT, right, and the CIO, whatever that looks like. All right, and you have some folks, right, that maybe you've got 1 to 10 people inside of the organization. Leverage these folks to be your 24/7 operations to monitor what is happening within the environment, right? You're looking at your hosts, you're looking at your network, you're looking at your assets, which could be your hosts, you're looking at your data, and you're looking at your user activity, okay? Have them really focus on the technical aspects of that. Use this information to feed into your champions, your internal folks, right? And then allow them to then go ahead and influence the culture, whether it's through the CISO, the CIO, whether it's direct, whatever it is. The focus, if you're leveraging a managed security service provider for your internal people, is not to run around performing what the managed security service provider is. It's to take this information, it's to manage them, and it's to take this information and change the culture. And I think this is a major area that folks tend to slip up on when they're using an MSSP in any type of regard, or even outsourced IT. They look at it as if everything is being shifted over to there, the responsibility, the risk, the authorities, and I think it's nice to be able to think that way, because then you can lay the blame on the MSSP when things go south within your org, but it doesn't really work out in the long run, because if you have an incident that is viewed as something that comes down from your culture, you can't effectively point to your MSSP, an outsourced provider, and realistically expect anybody to believe you that they're the ones at fault for failing to change culture within your organization, right? As a CISO, that's your job. We, as CISOs, are the evangelists, right? Not only the strategists within an organization for security posture, but we're the evangelists for security for the organization. We need to take everything that we're seeing and apply it to change the culture to make the entire organization better. Anyway, those are some thoughts that I had for this one. It came up out of a great conversation from the Rochester Security Summit last week. Brian Hoagley. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. Follow me there. Twitter. Obviously out on LinkedIn. Follow us anything through hashtag CISOLife. I thank you.